Goodness me, what a party. Isn't he a brilliant compere as our David? He's like the modern version of Larry Grayson from the Generation Game. What a party. This is truly incredible. I want to say a big, big hello to all of you. I suppose because I'm a generous chap, I probably ought to say hello to those characters outside. Them out there, that's what you call a protest group, a rabble. We in here, everyone, we are a serious political party. We are not messing around. We're the fastest growing political party, and we have a Baldric-like cunning plan to win the next general election. But we've got a lot to do before then. But I think we should just think about our competitors. I mean, how many people do we think the Lib Dems could get in an event? 2 rows? Maybe 3? What about the Tories? Maybe they could, do you think they could do 6 rows? Maybe 7? Couple of phone boxes, what else have I been over here? But seriously, what about the Labour Party? I mean, never hear Keir. He'd have his rally in Mauritius as he sells off the Chagos Islands or gives them away. We're the party folks of the future. We've got good news and bad news, and because I'm an optimist, I'm going to start with the bad news. I want you just to use your imagination. This auditorium, this arena, incredible it is, takes about 10,000 people. Imagine half of the auditorium. That's the number of young men who've illegally crossed the English Channel since January the 1st. If you think that's bad, imagine 3 times the size of this auditorium. That's the number of young men who've illegally crossed the Channel since Keir Starmer promised to smash the gangs. It's not working out very well, is it? It's been a difficult week, I have to say. I mean, sitting in the chamber on Wednesday, it's great to be amongst friends after 2 challenging days. Wednesday, listening to Rachel from I don't know where. Is she from complaints? Is she from accounts? What we do know is she's completely delusional. I mean, what she talked about, inferring that everything was all fine and dandy, that's not what people in the business world are telling me. And then she had the temerity to rely on what I call delusional forecasts from the Office of Incompetent Forecasting, otherwise known as the Office for Budget Responsibility. So in just the last 4 months, they've halved their forecast from a ludicrous 2% to 1%, completely forgetting that we've already shrunk by 0.1% in January. But then they seem to think that, then they blame the sort of world events. They then seem to think that peace and love will break out in Christmas, and all of a sudden we'll soar up to 1.8, 1.9% more than they forecast just a few months ago. Forgetting the fact, folks, that we've already borrowed 20 billion more than they told us we'd be borrowing just 4 months ago. These people are utterly, utterly delusional. And one of the reasons we're not growing is because of our good old friend, net stupid zero. It is the bugbear. You cannot grow an economy with the highest taxes in 70 years, the highest, most wasteful government spending in 70 years, wasteful council spending, and then overlay that with net zero. And we've already seen the destruction that that is doing to our jobs and our industries. And I want to just touch on the steel industry because we've already seen thousands of job losses down in Port Talbot as they shut the blast furnaces down there. And then on Thursday, I had to sit in the chamber and listen to the minister confirm that the Chinese want to close all steelmaking operations, shut the blast furnaces at Scunthorpe in Lincolnshire. Absolutely, I want a big boo, boo! Well, I tell you what I told the minister and what I say to the Labour government, the Chinese might be giving up on British steel, but the British people do not want to give up on British steel. So I said, oh, and by the way, I gave a press conference exactly 5 years ago in Scunthorpe, and I said to the Tories, I said, don't sell British steel to the Chinese. What do? They sold it to the Chinese. We actually should turn this negative into a positive, is what I told the minister. We've actually got an opportunity to do a good deal for taxpayers. So let's take British steel in Scunthorpe into public ownership. Let's refurbish the blast furnaces that make the primary steel. And let's make sure that the public sector buys British steel. That is a huge opportunity to invest for British industry. It's an opportunity for our defence industry to buy the strongest, highest quality British steel. That's who we are. We stand up for British industry. We stand up for British workers. We stand up for the British people. I mean, you really couldn't make some of this stuff up. The waste, we see it at the national level. You've probably heard my favourite, the old bat shed. The £100 million bat shed of our taxpayers' cash. But when you look at the councils, the waste everywhere, and you'll hear more of that later on. How is it that we seem to be spending ever more council tax, and yet the potholes are repaired less, and the bins are collected less, and if you live here in Birmingham, they're not collected at all? It's a catastrophe. The truth is, the Tories broke Britain, and Labour is in the process of bankrupting Britain. We cannot keep spending more than we're earning, because if you do that at home, you go bust eventually. If you do that at work, eventually you go bust. And folks, if we keep spending more than we're earning as a nation, we will go bust. And the markets responded very badly to Rachel's spring statement. The cost of government borrowing on a 10-year or 30-year basis is the highest it's been for about 15 years. That tells you something. We cannot keep going on like this. The truth is, the absolute clear truth is, timing, the secret of great comedy. I couldn't possibly comment, sir. I'd get in terrible trouble from the woke police. But the truth is that this great country of ours, it's in serious trouble. But the good news, folks, starting with these elections, is that we can turn this around. In the same way that a bad boss can ruin a good business in a couple of years, a good boss can turn it around in 2 to 3 years. So our cunning plan, with your help, with the help of all these brilliant 1,500 or so candidates who are standing, with the mayoral candidates, we are going to win this May the 1st. We're going to win big. We must win big. And when we do that, folks, we can then do a proper job. And if we're lucky enough to actually run whole councils, we can show that we can do a great job, bringing in a fantastic team of experts, root and branch, line by line. A sort of county by county equivalent of a Doge maybe is what is required in this country. And then we've got next May 2026 to look forward to in Wales and Scotland, and extraordinary things are going on. The Welsh over there, I think. Where are the Scots? Are the Scots? Here we are, the Scots. We're doing great there. Incredible things can happen next year, so that we can then prove to the nation that we deserve the right to save Britain in 2028, 2029. No one's saying it's easy, but what I want to hear from you, as I conclude, I want to hear from you that you believe that we can save Britain. Can we do it? Do you want to grow Britain again? Do you want to make Britain great again? And do you want to make our brilliant, strong leader, Nigel Farage, the next elected Prime Minister of the United Kingdom? Then let's do it. Thank you very much.